Just give me a second here, Crowder. Just give me a second, because I'm a little emotional. I'm going to talk about Duncan Robinson here for a moment, and I might tear up a little bit. So just try to help me through this, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Duncan Robinson, Duncan McBride Robinson. That's right, McBride. Thought he was badass when he became a two-way player, maybe a three-way player, maybe the player that's most dangerous in the NBA. His middle name is McBride. Duncan McBride Robinson. He played college basketball, NCAA Division III Williams College Fs. That was the team name, the Fs. EPHS. I don't know what it means. I was weeping so much I couldn't even research it. Too busy. Transferred, of course, to Michigan, we know. Born April 22nd, 1994 in York, Maine. Duncan Robinson is the son of Elizabeth and Jeffrey Robinson and the youngest of their three children after sister Marta and brother Eli. He is part Hawaiian on his mother's side. Yes, Tua fans, we have another Hawaiian to root for in South Florida, and his name is Duncan Robinson. He grew up in the town of Newcastle, New Hampshire, where the Maud H. Trefethen Elementary School 6th grade graduating class was composed of a total of 4 students.
From the gutter.
He is the NBA's fastest player to reach 200 career three-pointers, 300 career three-pointers, 400 career three-pointers, 500, 600, 700, 800. He has the largest contract by an undrafted player in NBA history. Single season three-pointers. He is your NBA leader by an undrafted player. Single season three-pointers by a first or second year player, NBA leader. I could go on, but I will tell you this. Duncan McBride Robinson is ours.
Mm-hmm.
And last night, in a game featuring two-time MVP Nikola Jokic, in a game featuring 6-time NBA All-Star and Olympic gold medal winner Jimmy Butler, Duncan Robinson took over the fourth quarter, led the Heat to an NBA Finals victory, and today, Duncan Robinson is the new president of South Florida, and I am your vice president, and I am at your service, President Duncan McBride Robinson.
Do I have to do that?
Yes, salute. Salute to Duncan Robinson, Solana.
Appreciate you, Dunk.
That was a game.
Marta, Eli, and Duncan. I don't like them names.
4 kids in the 6th grade graduating class. He's Hawaiian.
That's why he's a little antisocial. He didn't have anybody around him growing up. 4 people to talk to. Bro, it was special. And you know what I loved? The off the court interview with Bam. First name he brings up, Duncan Robinson. Up there with the TNT crew when they get Kyle Lowry, 20, 30 minutes after the game. They ask him the first question. He barrels through the answer and brings up Duncan Robinson. And I'm glad they did it. And I hope Duncan feels the love from his team and keeps playing like he did in that damn fourth. That was impressive.
You said highest undrafted contract in the history of the NBA, right, Hawk?
Yep.
For now. Because my guy Gabe Vincent is going to get that sack.
Let me tell you something. Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, they have for another year. Is that correct?
No, he's an unrestricted free agent as well.
Unrestricted free agent?
Unrestricted free agent.
So you're telling me that, because I read today that Kyrie wants LeBron to come to Dallas and form a big three with him and Luka?
And Luka.
Right? Did you see that?
Yeah. Shams Charania reported that Kyrie has reached out to LeBron James and is checking his interest to come to Dallas.
Well, let me submit this to you. What would stop LeBron from forming a big three with Max Strus and Gabe Vincent in Los Angeles?
LeBron would.
I'm not so certain.
Solana, you're the loosest Heat fan in the world. They just run through you. Because Caleb's the man until Gabe's the man, until Duncan's the man. You just loosey-goosey.
I don't want to hear any Caleb Martin slander today. Dude's playing with the flu or something. I don't know. But guess what? Heat win by 3, and my guy Caleb, he checked his toes. Splash!
I tell you what, if I was a Nuggets fan, I might be angry that nobody checked Jimmy Butler's toes when he kicked it out for a 3 and he was standing in the concession stand.
I don't even remember that. What are you speaking of?
No one's allowed to speak of that on this show. That never happened. Yeah, really. This Gabe Vincent, man, holy mackerel. And he is like so unfazed by it all. Like, did you see what he said after the game? He's like, yeah, we just don't care. And that's what Jimmy Butler said too. Like, yeah, we have that I don't care thing going on. And man, does it work for them. I saw some stat on ESPN today. They are 4 out of 5 when down 10 points or more in the fourth quarter this postseason. What does that tell you about this team?
No, Hawk. I saw another image. The top 4 teams ever to have 10-point comebacks in a playoff game in one playoff run is 7. 4 teams have 7. 3 of those teams, the 2011 Heat, 2012 Heat, and now the 2023 Heat. It says something about the organization when you're coming down from double digits consistently throughout your entire history of your team. Bro, and to your point about not caring, Max Strus's interview between the first and the second quarter, the lady asked him about shooting, and he said, shoot or shoot. I don't think about misses.
Yep.
It gave me chills watching it, man. I love the attitude of this team, and that's what Jimmy Butler gives you. I think about Jimmy every time one of them dudes come up there and be like, who cares? I'm going to shoot. That's what I do.
It is all based on Jimmy. You know, they say the dog takes on the personality of the owner.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler is the owner of that squad, player-wise.
Yes.
They are all him. And it shows you, first of all, how much they respect him. Secondly, what his attitude, if you embrace it, because remember in places, they didn't embrace his attitude, and it's weird. If you don't embrace that attitude, it becomes just a weird outlier in a situation. It becomes untenable. When they all buy in, you watched it yesterday. Man, in Denver, no one this postseason has beaten Denver in Denver. They're down double digits, and they win that game.
Yeah.
Duncan McBride Robinson.
Throwing their bodies around, beating because what Mike Wilbon kept talking about at halftime after the game. And what playing with force is a good way of playing physical, being nasty. He kept saying playing with force. But you could see the difference between the first quarter of game 1 and the first quarter of game 2. I'm not even talking about the threes because shooting 50% from 3, that's amazing, and it's not going to happen every game. But the intensity and the physical approach to the game that they were playing when running through. Did you see Kyle Lowry run through a pick of Nikola Jokic? He didn't move him, and they called a foul on him. But I love the thought that Kyle Lowry lowered his shoulder on a dude at 7'3".
My son was watching with me. He looked at me. He goes, Kyle Lowry just got CTE. Like in that moment, he caught it. Caught the CTE.
He shrugged his shoulders because he was thinking the same thing I'm thinking. He didn't move the guy.
Like didn't move the guy. It was just so great. And it kind of harkens back. If you remember last week, I said Eric Spoelstra, very similar to Bill Belichick. If you give Bill Belichick a week to plan for a game, look out. Yeah. Give him 10 days. Like if New England plays on a Thursday night and then you're their opponent a week from the following Sunday, look out because he's got so much time to game plan. Spo, same thing, right? He looked at what went wrong in the first game, had 2.5 days to figure it out. There's Kevin Love looking like Kevin Love of 8 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
that's Spo, right?
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
Duncan Robinson playing in the fourth quarter, not Max Strus. That's Spo.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in Spo we trust. You saw it last night, man.
And Kevin Love played his tail off. Don't look at the box score. Watch the game. You know what we joke about Kevin Love playing slow, being older, and being a slow player? You know who else is a slow player? Jokic is a slow player. And Kevin's big enough to two big-ass dudes sitting there slow playing each other, but Kevin was playing physical ball. He wasn't just sitting outside. He was down low, inside, outside, hit a couple threes. Like, Kevin Love, I've got on him all year round. I thought it was a waste bringing him in. Then they bench him, don't even start him. Didn't start him in the playoffs. We were like, oh, yeah, that's a mistake. Bro, without Kevin Love on this team, we don't win that game last night.
Talk about playing slow. I will tell you, because the Heat won, I can now anoint this my favorite play in postseason history. It was Nikola Jokic going coast to coast. He didn't know which side the ball was bouncing on. He's so big, like he didn't know which side. He just was looking down. He's like, if the ball bounces back up, I'm just going to bounce it down again. And just all of a sudden ended up right underneath the basket for a little lay-in. It was the funniest damn thing I ever saw.
Yeah, those were business decisions when those guys saw him coming through the lane. We'll let him get this too.
I ducked. I was at my couch.
Oh.
All right. Solana, what'd you think, man?
That's what I expected in game one, right? Knocking down threes, getting to the free throw line. Every adjustment they needed to make from game one to game two, they made it. 18 free throws they made compared to just 2 in game one. The threes were there. Everybody contributing. You're right, Kevin Love putting him in the starting lineup. It worked, man. 10 boards. He had the early charge taken. He knocked down a pair of three-pointers as well. You're doing this with Jimmy Butler clearly a bit limited at least.
Something is wrong. You'd have to not have watched the Heat all season not to recognize it.
And the idea that this team was just being carried by Jimmy Butler heroics, I think it was maybe a little fair in round one, considering he had 56 and then 42 in the closeout in game 5. But since then, they've been doing it as a team. And I think that was lost on some people. You're seeing it now. Gabe Vincent's leading you in scoring. Bam Adebayo's playing elite on both ends. Bro, they're going zone, full court press, man, full court press, zone. They turned Jokic, even though Spo got a little salty with Ramona Shelburne last night.
He did.
They turned Jokic into a scorer because when he has over 40 points and less than 10 assists, they don't win many basketball games. And I think the Heat noticed that, and they refused to let him have 10 assists as he did at the end of the first half the other night. They forced him to just score, and they exchanged 2s with 3s. And Crowder, third time this postseason, the Heat trailed by at least 15, and they come back to win. That's crazy. First team to do it in Denver. First loss that Denver suffers in the postseason this year. First time the Heat have won in Denver since November 30th, 2016, when Luke Babbitt and Josh McRoberts were in the starting lineup. Bro, all hail Coach Spo.
Coach Spo. It was the Denver fans stopped cheering as loud when Nikola Jokic was one-on-one with Bam and he just muscled him to the rim and lay it up. They weren't excited because as soon as he makes it, everybody started hauling ass down the court to get on offense. Bam would take the ball out and sling it. Let's run. And we were talking to Mike Wallace before the series started. He was like, if you make Jokic run, he's not out of shape. They talk about it all the time. This is one of the biggest, most in shape guys ever. He's not out of shape, but his big ass don't want to do wind sprints all night. Spo, you said it, Hawk. Spo went in the lab, had him 2 days, and said, I got something for you.
Wasn't going to mess that up.
And saw the adjustments. Once they started, changing the pick and roll defense after Strus started hitting them in the corner, they changed their defense up. We answered right back. That's when Bam and Jimmy went to the top of the key. You watched art. You watched a beautiful art out of Eric Spoelstra last night.
Let's all hail Duncan Robinson, too. Come on. Duncan McBride Robinson was written off by his head coach. Yeah. His head coach wrote him off. I don't have time for you anywhere. Sometimes I go 10 deep. I don't have a time or a place to get you on that court. And Duncan Robinson, because, by the way, and I understand it, Duncan Robinson, if he wasn't Duncan Robinson didn't dribble the ball. He would stand, catch, shoot, get back on defense. Someone would blow by him. Then they'd run back down, stand, catch, shoot, get back on defense. Someone blows by him. I get it. Duncan Robinson has become a different basketball player. He is a different basketball player. He plays with a confidence out there. You saw him mean mugging. He did the Hulk Hogan thing the other night in Boston. Like, I'm telling you, that dude is a different basketball player.
90 seconds left on the clock. I think it was a 4, 3, 5-point game, one of them. Duncan, the play was to go to Duncan to shoot the three. He was running around. He was handing off to Bam, running around Bam, double picks. They called his number with 90 seconds left in a single-digit game. I was like, you know what? To your point, Spo gave up on him, but now you're playing well. Go win the game for us, big man. That's what kind of coach you want. Honest, he's honest with you. Right now, you're not playing well. Oh, you're going to score 10 in the fourth? Hell, let's get you 13, big man. I loved it. Boy, that's
actually also the kind of player that you want who faces that situation, right? Because you could be Hassan Whiteside facing limited playing minutes and just pout. Dwayne Dedman, you just pout. Or Duncan Robinson, figure out new aspects of your game. And then all of a sudden, like you say, you get to the fourth quarter, and it's not we can't find time for you. It's we can't find time for Max Strus. Because Duncan, we can't get him off the court.
Nope.
He took over an NBA Finals game. Duncan McBride Robinson took over an NBA Finals game on the road and led his team to a win. Come on.
Hawk, you saw it. You saw it months ago, Hawk. I got to give you credit. You saw it.
I saw it.
Give us a mean mug, Hawk. Give us a mean mug. You saw it.
Uh-oh. What is that? What are you doing?
I know. I think it was an old man face. I don't know. Can I have till 6?
Yeah, figure out.
Can I get back to you on that?
Maybe
Is there a
Google
YouTube video? YouTube video I can look?
Do some. You got to do research.
How to mean mug.
I thought you stubbed your toe. What face was that?
Man, that was so much fun to watch. All right, let's get headlines. We have a lot to get to today. We're going to talk Heat. We're going to talk Panthers. Obviously, Panthers had their game 1 over the weekend, but they have game 2 tonight. So Doug Plagans, he is going to join us from Las Vegas. Brian Geltzeiler from Sirius XM NBA Radio, he is going to join us. And you want to talk about mean mugging. Clay Ferrero, I don't know if you saw what this dude did on live TV on Local 10 when a Vegas Golden Knight fan got a little cutesy and started giving the finger on TV. You ever see Angry Runs? Kyle Brandt on NFL Network?
Yeah.
I saw a stiff arm from Clay Ferrero that rivaled any stiff arm you'll see in the NFL.
Folks don't know. Clay's all a 6'3" now. Don't sleep on Clay Ferrero.
Don't sleep on Clay. Anyway, we'll get some headlines here with Alejandro Solana. We'll move ahead with a big, big show today. Here are your headlines with Alejandro Solana, who sang the praises of Caleb Martin, even though Caleb Martin could not hit over 15.5, 2 games combined.
Don't do that. Caleb Martin,
I know, I'm
pivotal
sorry.
Down the stretch.
I sent that to Solana last night. Caleb Martin didn't hit the over, 2 games combined, and Solana just said, "Not now. I'm 3 games away from a ring."
Hey, Hawk, game's over at 10:15. You sent that at 10:17.
I had it holstered since the second quarter.
You know what Caleb does do? Give that damn Jamal Murray hell.
Yes, sir.
I will. You know what? So if he can't shoot, how about you limit him a little bit? I'll appreciate it.
It's Sports Update. It's driven by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford, we know trucks. There's so many awesome stats from last night that I want to get to. We'll get to them throughout the show. But the Miami Heat, 17 three-pointers, the most the franchise has ever made in an NBA Finals game. And for the first time since 2014, the NBA Finals will be played on the stadium on Biscayne Boulevard.
Let's go. Wednesday night, baby.
Yes, sir. Wednesday night. Tonight, Game 2.
Heat, by the way, are 2.5-point underdogs at home.
I'm trying to go on Friday. Y'all know anybody that does home equity loans?
Oh, I can get you in on Friday with no problem. Is there a game on Friday? I thought it was Saturday.
Friday night.
It's Friday night.
Nah, I can't get you in on Friday. I can get you in on Saturday.
Oh, dang, Hawk. So again, you got any hard money loaners out there? You know, good old fashioned 27%.
Don't I have any credit with Duncan McBride Robinson?
Call Duncan.
Which card do you want to use, sir? Amex, Visa, MasterCard? No, I'll be using the Duncan McBride Robinson.